Right now on Morning News Now, a big, bitter breakup between President Trump and one of his closest former advisors, billionaire Elon Musk, as the two clash over the president's so-called big, beautiful bill. Now the president threatening to cut federal ties with Musk's businesses, while Musk takes to his own platform X to post a series of attacks.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
All this just hours from the May jobs report expected to reflect the impact of federal cuts by Musk and DOGE. We have the latest from Washington to Wall Street. Also this morning, a tough decision for thousands of people serving in the U.S. military. More on the ban on transgender service members as they reach the deadline to voluntarily separate. Developing right now, more wild weather taking aim at multiple states after a string of severe storms. We're tracking the system, the dangers, and what you can expect for your weekend. And Broadway's big year, some serious star power fueling a record run on the Great White Way. We'll pull back the curtain on what's become Broadway's most profitable year ever as we gear up for this year's Tony Awards on Sunday. Good morning. Let's start some good news for you. It's Friday. I'm Savannah Sellers. Joe's on assignment. We are going to get started this morning with the bitter falling out between President Trump and Elon Musk that's been exploding on social media. Now, Musk has been taking jabs at the president, pointing to the $250 million he spent on his 2024 campaign, and now suggesting he should be impeached. Trump broke his silence in the Oval Office yesterday, threatening to cut off government contracts to Musk's companies and suggesting Musk just misses his job in the Trump administration.
I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others, too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different and they become hostile.
Their alliance unraveled this week after Musk launched a campaign against the president's signature tax bill. It comes as both men face a potential referendum today with the May jobs report due to be released, and that's expected to reflect the impact of Trump's tariffs and cuts to the federal workforce Musk made through DOGE. Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver and NBC News senior national politics reporter John Allen will join us shortly with analysis on all this. We're going to start, though, with NBC's Chris Pohl-Owen to bring us up to speed on this very public, very bitter dispute. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, Savannah, good morning to you. Watch this space for changes, right? This changes by the moment. The Congressional Budget Office said earlier this week that President Trump's spending bill will add about $2.4 trillion to the budget deficit over the next 10 years. After slashing the government workforce and federal agencies, Elon Musk apparently took issue with that spending, causing this rift with the president. Mounting tension between President Trump and his biggest campaign donor boiling over in the Oval Office and then spilling onto social media.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
After days of silence, the president responding to billionaire Elon Musk's withering criticism of his so-called big, beautiful spending and tax cut bill during a White House sit-down with the Chancellor of Germany.
Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money for electric vehicles.
Musk firing back in real time on X. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. The president later seeming to threaten the CEO of Tesla's many federal business deals, writing, "The easiest way to save money in our budget is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts." The president adding, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave." Musk called that claim an obvious lie and went further with this claim. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Musk offered no evidence, and President Trump has denied any involvement in Epstein's crimes. Overnight, the White House press secretary downplayed the feud, calling it an unfortunate episode from Elon.
Elon went back to his companies, and as a businessman, he has a right to speak for his companies. But as president, President Trump has a responsibility to fight for this country.
During the back and forth, Tesla stock lost 14% of its value. Congressional Republicans say they're pressing forward with the spending bill despite Musk's objections. And overnight, Politico had reported that a phone call was set up between the president and Elon Musk to put this squabble behind them. But just a few moments ago, the White House chief of staff, Susie Wiles, told NBC News that no call is on the books at this point. So
we'll see how this goes today, Savannah.
We certainly will. Chris, thanks for kicking us off. I want to now bring in NBC News senior national politics reporter Jonathan Allen for more analysis. John, good morning. Thanks very much for being with us. I mean, you literally wrote the book on the 2024 campaign. You know I'm a huge fan of it. Reads like fiction, as I always say. You've been covering this administration extensively. Just first, what's your initial reaction to what you're seeing after what happened between the two on the campaign trail, the money Elon poured in, this obvious alignment between the two of them? Did you expect at all that this would happen at some point?
I mean, I think it's like watching, a colony of great apes, right, where there are two alpha males, who seem to be getting along for a while. Eventually they're gonna fight with each other, and so I don't know that it's shocking that it happened. I think the fact that it blew up in such spectacular fashion, with the recriminations being so personal, is a little bit surprising. But if you're President Trump, you're trying to get your bill through. If you're Elon Musk, as Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, said in that clip you showed, you have interest in your companies. Neither one of those interests is served by this angry feud that's going on right now. So if there's to be a détente, that's what probably makes most sense for these two men, but it doesn't look like they are any cooler under the collar in the last few hours. One thing I did hear from Caroline this morning, I was texting with her, she said that the president left the Oval Office in a mindset where he was focused on the one big beautiful bill last night.
John, you mentioned a little bit about this, but give us more in depth. What's at stake for both men here? You have the president threatening federal contracts that exist for Musk's companies, things like that. What could go down here if this continues?
Literally billions and billions of dollars at stake for Musk's companies, not only through federal subsidies, but from any outside investment they might get as a result of having federal subsidies. And you could see the United States government tilt more toward NASA and toward the government doing space. They could see it going to other companies. And then beyond that, of course, we saw that huge loss in Tesla stock yesterday. The company is down about 14% during the day yesterday. It's had a terrible year. So a lot at stake for him financially. For the president, his agenda is at stake here. Elon Musk is trashing the one big beautiful bill frequently, often, publicly and privately. And as a result, there's a threat to Republican members of Congress, and Musk has articulated that he will take them out in midterm elections if they vote for this bill. So a lot at stake for both men. And if they come together, perhaps you could see that bill moving forward. And you could, but I'm not sure that Musk's business interests can be served by the president after all these attacks. I mean, I think that's going to be a hard thing for Musk to recover.
John, how much sort of sway, influence, power does Elon Musk have here when he comes out negatively, obviously quite strongly all over social media, against this bill with Republicans in Congress? Is there a concern from the White House that his criticism of this opens the door?
I texted with a Republican congressman last night who said that the lawmakers are between a rock and a hard place. But I did talk to a congressional advisor yesterday who basically said this, for their counsel to members of Congress is stay out of the way. If you have to pick a side, pick Trump's side because he's more likely to take you out politically, but stay out of it. I think they're all looking for cover right now, like children in an ugly divorce.
John, I, unsurprisingly to you and any viewer, am not a sporty gal and certainly not a wrestling gal. Joe is the big wrestling fan. It's too bad that he's not here this morning. But there's this term in wrestling, heel turn, where a wrestler is abruptly changing sides. It sort of feels like that's what happened here. I mean, I guess the way that you put it, like two men, two big egos. How does it ultimately end up at the end of the day? But there was just such lockstep here. Elon in the Oval Office, operating as one of the closest advisors to the president. I mean, how do you assess this change other than ego? The fact that it's just changed so abruptly.
I really think that, so ego is huge in this, obviously, but I also think that these two men were in lockstep as long as their interests aligned, and at some point their interests stopped aligning. Elon Musk became tremendously controversial for basically, taking a chainsaw, figuratively, to the federal government, firing workers, walking around on a stage with a fake chainsaw, he became unpopular during that period. He no longer served Trump's interests in quite the same way that he had before. And, Trump is not serving Musk's interests. The subsidies that Musk wanted in that legislation are not there. And beyond that, we'll have to see. But Trump is threatening to pull all of Musk's other federal subsidies. So, their interests stopped aligning. And as a result of that, you're seeing this brawl.
John Allen, great to see you. Thank you very much. Now I've got Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver with us to talk about the financial impact of this feud. We just mentioned some of it there. The fact Tesla, 14% down yesterday. Tell us more from a financial perspective, more detail on just sort of what is at stake here for Elon. And like I mentioned before, these threats from the president openly about ending federal contracts.
Yeah, you want to go back to the wrestling analogy. This is off the top rope, elbow drop, that stock dropping 14%.
And that's where my knowledge ends.
Okay, but this is cage match style, and that's $150 billion in market cap off Tesla's stock. And well, Elon Musk is the biggest shareholder there. That's a widely held stock. It's in a bunch of index funds. So that kind of hurts everybody when you think about what it means for all those subsidies. Jonathan mentioned it. $38 billion in government contracts. The Washington Post reported that Tesla and the other companies that Elon Musk controls has with the government. So that's a lot of money tied into his future projects. He's talking about removing the Dragon spacecraft from the space program that transports our astronauts up to the space station. There's a lot of things on the table, including the subsidies for EVs. And he was trying, Elon Musk, to get permission to use robo-taxis and autonomous taxis in Austin. That needs federal approval. So there's a lot at stake here for the future of Elon Musk businesses. Some of those, like Tesla, are publicly held. You mentioned this, but while this feud's going on between these two powerful, influential men, it does impact a lot of people at home. A lot of people's 401ks, all your different types of investment funds tied up in some of Musk's companies. What does this mean this morning for a regular consumer at home, somebody who's invested, and the broader economy? Yeah, people that have owned Tesla stock outright know that it's a very volatile stock because it's highly tied to its CEO, who's a pretty volatile guy. So ups and downs are no big deal. Just looking pre-market, that stock's up about 4%, maybe telling us that maybe they will talk later today. So hard to bet on that. But it is one of the biggest stocks in the stock market. It just fell below the $1 trillion market cap mark because of that big loss yesterday. But it is widely held. It's in a lot of our 401ks. It's in a lot of index funds. So there's that. But there's also the fact that there's all these other coins that some crypto investors might be invested in, including Dogecoin. Right. That's fallen recently. The president's Trump coin, that was down about 10% yesterday. Now, these are not widely held, but these are symbols of this popularity. If you own these coins, you're betting on the popularity and the relationship between them. Not a big deal for everyday investors, but it just shows you how much is tied up in this, whether it's real money or Doge money. And it seems like we've just been having conversations with you, with others, about kind of like the positivity around cryptocurrency with this current administration. The vice president even showing up to this massive conference in Las Vegas, really the show of support. We know the Trump family has their own coins. Does seeing an event like this play out and essentially the takeaway here that's like, okay, so some sort of personal feud spills out over, does that have bigger ramifications for cryptocurrency? Should it be more of a concern for people? It should be a big warning sign for people that coins like this, the Trump coin, the Doge coin, all these coins that are associated but not backed by anything are backed by the cult of personality. And the personalities are some of the biggest in the world. And when they clash, you're going to see big sell-offs like this. So it is still a risky place. And it does kind of erode a lot of the credibility that they're trying to build in the cryptocurrency market. Even though it's bigger than that, these coins are the big symbol of their popularity. So had this feud not spilled out all over the place, we would have been talking to you about the numbers that we're about to get today and also trade. Obviously, steel and aluminum, this has been a big conversation this week, but actually the president says that he had a very good call, I think were his words, with President Xi of China. What do we know about where any negotiation stands, and do you think that the markets respond positively to that little bit of news today? Of course, because the markets are really on headline risk alert. Now, if there's positive news about trade, if there's positive news about conversations with China, we do see a spike in the stock market, but it just shows you how volatile and sensitive we are to headlines right now. Really scary time to be an investor because you just don't know which way things are going. Hopefully things play out and things continue to remain positive because that's been the wind at the sails of the stock market now for the past month or so. Stock market's been on a nice little roll. Caleb Silver covering a lot for us. Thank you very much. Well, also this morning, President Trump is escalating his attacks on his predecessor, President Joe Biden, after launching an investigation into Biden's use of an auto pen. But when pressed about it yesterday, the president acknowledged he didn't have any evidence that any documents were signed without the former president's knowledge or of anything illegal taking place.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has more.
President Trump is ordering a wide-ranging inquiry into former President Biden and his administration, accusing Biden's aides of using auto pen signatures to cover up his cognitive decline.
The biggest scandal of the last many years is the auto pen, and who's using it.
Presidents from Barack Obama to John F. Kennedy to Thomas Jefferson have used auto pens or mechanized signing devices. It is legal, and Trump has acknowledged using the auto pen himself.
Only for very unimportant papers.
He was pressed whether he's uncovered evidence of anything signed without Biden's knowledge.
No, but I've uncovered, the human mind. I was in a debate with the human mind, and I didn't think he knew what the hell he was doing.
Last week, Biden, who was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, brushed off growing scrutiny of his mental competence while in office.
I'll put my record as president against any president at all.
The former president blasting Trump's auto pen inquiry as a distraction. Let me be clear, Biden writing. I made the decisions during my presidency. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false.
Our thanks to Gabe Gutierrez for that report. Well, today is the deadline for thousands of transgender active duty service members to, quote, voluntarily separate from the military. This is according to Defense Department guidance issued by Secretary Pete Hegseth last month. The Department of Defense first issued the ban on transgender service members in late February. The Supreme Court paved the way for the ban to take effect early last month after lifting 2 federal court orders attempting to block it. And the new policy asserts that transgender people are ineligible for service because they have a history or show signs of gender dysmorphia, which is distress caused by the feeling that one's gender does not match the one they were assigned at birth. Now, the Trump administration alleges that troops with gender dysmorphia don't meet military standards. According to guidance from the DOD, military services will begin involuntary separating transgender service members who do not meet today's deadline. Elena Kupek is standing by with her take on this. She is a former U.S. naval officer and the founder and president of the nonprofit Gender Research Advisory Council on Education, also known as GRACE. But we're going to get started with NBC News national security reporter Gordon Lubold for more on today's deadline. Gordon, good morning. Thanks very much for joining us. So can you just tell us a little bit more here about the criteria the Defense Department is using to identify these service members and what does happen if they don't comply, they don't voluntarily separate by today's deadline?
Right. So that deadline is today. And if they haven't already self-identified now, I think is the process whereby the Defense Department or the individual services will take steps to identify for them. Basically, the criteria now is your service is done as a man or a woman. And so all service members now need to fit neatly into one of those boxes. If there's elements or signs of gender dysphoria in your military service, then the department will take steps to separate you. If there's a question about that, then the commander can send a service member to the medical department to kind of assess to make sure.
Gordon, remind us why the Supreme Court cleared the way for this ban to take effect, and do any legal challenges remain?
So it was, I think on May 6th, the Supreme Court ruled that the ban could take effect, that President Trump put in his executive order, I think January 27th, early after he came into office. There's a number of different challenges still in effect or still challenging that Supreme Court ruling because there's a number of different cases. And I think some service members believe that they may, even if they are administratively separated now, they may have an opportunity to come back if some of these other cases are met in their favor. But that's for now, the separations will begin.
Elena, let's bring you into the conversation here. You served in the U.S. Navy supporting air operations in Bosnia and Iraq and planning missions as the battle group expert, as it's called, on Iran and Yemen. Based on your experience as a service member, what impact do you think this ban will have on the U.S. military? How do you think this plays out?
Well, I think in the immediate term, it's causing chaos across the world, literally, because the commands have had really little guidance on how they're supposed to go about executing the order from the Secretary of Defense. And so even as late as last night, people who are serving, who have chosen voluntary separation, still don't know what the process will be. Commands have differing directives and differing perspectives on how they're supposed to go out and executing it. And so in the short term, it's going to make our country less prepared to defend our values around the world and really weaken our military. It's quite unfortunate.
In a memo filed with the U.S. District Court in February, Secretary Hegseth made assurances that transgender troops would, quote, be treated with dignity and respect. How do you feel about the way the administration has handled this? And what do you want people to know about these service members?
I think these service members, there's people who are on promotion boards who are receiving promotions literally as they are separated from the military service. They're receiving those promotions because they've honorably served their country and risen to the top of their ranks, whatever rank they may be, officer or enlisted. So to say that they're not fit for duty is really starkly not matched with the reality of what we're seeing in the active duty ranks right now. And when the Secretary of Defense talked about treating people with dignity and respect, yet at the same time, what we've seen since then is he's mandating that people be referred to their gender assigned at birth. How is it showing dignity and respect to people on one hand where you say you're going to do that and then you're acting quite differently? And so, I think that it's really quite interesting that when one of the reasons cited for this ban was that the Secretary of Defense didn't feel like people were living their lives with integrity. And yet we have a Secretary of Defense who was responsible for leaking military secrets over a signal chat. And having been the person that plans those bombing attacks in theaters like the Middle East, in Yemen, in Iraq, I can tell you that those missions are highly, highly classified. The details of those missions are highly classified. And so it's just rich with irony in me about attacking people who are transgender's integrity, who are living their lives truthfully and honestly and proudly every day, defending their country voluntarily, being rooted from the military service by, if people do not choose to voluntarily separate, the government is going to be going hunting for them. So it's really quite unfortunate. There's really little dignity and respect being managed in this process.
Elena and Gordon, thank you both very much for joining us on this morning. Now to an NBC News exclusive amid the back and forth between President Trump and Elon Musk and the aftermath of the deep cuts in federal programs brought on by the Department of Government Efficiency. A bipartisan bill aimed at protecting the National Weather Service is expected to be introduced in the House today. The bill has sponsors from both political parties in the House and verbal support from President Trump. Meteorologist Chase Kane has the details.
On this fourth-generation farm in northern Illinois, weather and climate predictions dictate everything from water for their cattle to when to plant. And for this mother of four, when to take cover.
I want to be confident that if there is severe weather heading my way, that I'm informed, that I know about that. And if we cut some of these services that have been around for over 100 years, it becomes really challenging for some of those big decisions that, again, ultimately impact our bottom line.
Megan also happens to live in the district represented by the only meteorologist in Congress. And he shares her concern about widespread staff shortages across the National Weather Service.
I value that in the middle of the night when the worst storm doesn't wake me up, that their warning will wake me up so that I get my kids down in the basement. That is of incredible value.
That's why Eric Sorensen visited his local weather office to listen to and encourage the forecasters stretched thin, so thin that sometimes they can't do basic things like launch a weather balloon.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And fewer balloon launches also grabbed attention 300 miles to the west and across the political divide.
Well, I could see it in their eyes. They were burnt out. They were concerned.
Mike Flood visited his district's weather office in April, also short-staffed at the time.
We have a tornado warning issued for Pottawatomie County.
When 6 tornadoes hit eastern Nebraska. Right after, he called the White House and pushed for what became Monday's announcement that 126 vacant positions would be filled across the Weather Service, roughly a fourth of the total vacancies.
We're fixing it. We're going to fund them. It's not going to get privatized. And I think it's an opportunity for some real change and hopefully some additional investment.
Now, Flood is partnering with Sorensen on a bipartisan bill to further protect Weather Service forecasters by reclassifying them as public safety alongside FBI agents and air traffic controllers. That would be a first in the 155-year history of the National Weather Service.
We have to make sure that we're protecting them because they don't just serve my constituents here, they serve constituents of every member of Congress.
I really feel confident. This is not a partisan issue. This is not a red issue. This is not a blue issue. We all see the value in it, including the White House.
And along with the president's support, Flood tells me that he's also working with the House Appropriations Committee to ensure that the Weather Service maintains full funding. And a spokesperson for the agency says they'll soon post those 126 openings for, quote, permanent mission-critical positions. We'll be sure to follow this story. I'm meteorologist Chase Kane.
Oh, all right, Chase Kane, thank you very much for that important report. Well, it's a stormy end to the week for millions across the Central Plains. Let's get a check on that and what else is on tap for your weekend with your Morning News Now weather. Michelle Grossman's with us. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. Great to see you. Happy Friday. And yeah, we are very stormy today. We're going to be watching the storms all throughout this Friday into the weekend. We're already seeing the storms early this morning. They've been happening overnight. We tracked them yesterday as well. And we are looking at some strong storms throughout the state of Oklahoma. So Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. And we'll see storms igniting from Texas all the way to the Tennessee Valley, parts of the Ohio Valley, and in southern New England. So radar showing us the picture right now. And that's what we expect as we go throughout the day. A flood watch certainly throughout the central and southern plains, also throughout New England. We're looking at really warm temperatures throughout the northwest, the southwest. We are also looking at some very warm temperatures. Severe weather threat today. We are looking at 33 million people at risk. It's a large area. We do have an enhanced risk where you see the orange. That is 3 out of 5 on the severity scale. The biggest threats would be large hail, 2 inches or greater, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Could see a few tornadoes, and we are watching the chance for some heavy rain. That's going to lead to more flooding. The grounds are very saturated from the storms that came through already, and we're going to dump rain on top of that. Tomorrow, that number grows to 52 million, and we're talking about winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour once again. Again, that can cause damage on its own, damaging hail, a couple of tornadoes. And look at the area where you see the yellow, from Springfield, Illinois, to Dallas, Tupelo, Atlanta, Wilmington, Charleston. We are under the gun for severe weather on Saturday. Could see some very heavy rain throughout the Carolinas. We're going to watch that closely. And then, Savannah, this is where we'll end it because it's going to be a big story with the chance for flooding throughout the central and southern plains. We do have a flash flood warning where you see the red. Back to you.
Okay, Michelle, thank you so much. Well, this morning, court documents filed by prosecutors appear to reveal stunning new details about Luigi Mangioni's plans to kill United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. In court filings on Wednesday, prosecutors unveiled what they say are Mangioni's handwritten diary entries in the months leading up to that fatal New York City shooting that was back in December. Mangioni has pleaded not guilty to state and federal charges in connection with the murder. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock has more on this new evidence from prosecutors.
The shock of last winter's Midtown murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson gaining new context as state prosecutors unveil writings and a letter to the FBI they say were composed by the man accused of killing him, Luigi Mangioni. To save you a lengthy investigation, I wasn't working with anyone, he allegedly writes to the feds. I do apologize for any strife or trauma, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. In an entry dated a month and a half before the killing, according to the filing, Mangioni allegedly writes, so say you want to rebel against the deadly greed-fueled health insurance cartel. Do you bomb the HQ? No. Bombs equal terrorism. Instead, he writes that one should whack the CEO, adding, it's targeted, precise, and doesn't risk innocence. Most importantly, the point is self-evident. The point is made in the news headline. Insurance CEO killed at annual investors conference.
How much influence do you think these latest revelations will have on the outcome of this case?
It's absolutely a win for the prosecution. They were handed something that will give an avenue that they will be able to pursue to secure potentially a top count conviction for terrorism on that murder charge.
In another motion earlier this week, the defense claiming that authorities have already prejudiced Mr. Mangioni in the media more than virtually any defendant in recent memory. No comment from United Healthcare and Mangioni's legal team. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, a medical breakthrough that could save lives. We'll show you the technology powered by AI that could help in the fight against breast cancer. But at first, developing overnight retaliation by Russia days after Ukraine's aggressive drone strikes. We'll be right back. We are back with a tragic homecoming for the families of two Israeli-American hostages. On Thursday, the IDF recovered the bodies of Judith Weinstein-Haggai and Gad Haggai. The married couple were killed in the October 7th, 2023 attacks. The remains were held in Gaza by Hamas ever since. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley has their story.
A bittersweet homecoming for this Israeli-American couple. Their bodies finally returned home to Israel after Israeli security forces recovered them from southern Gaza. The Israeli military said Judy Weinstein-Haggai and her husband, Gadi Haggai, were murdered in the Hamas-led terror attack on October 7th after their kibbutz came under attack. Weinstein, speaking in Hebrew, said, "My husband, I think he's dead, and I was hit in the face." These may have been among Judy's last words. Begging rescuers for help shortly after they ventured out on their morning walk that day, captured in this security video. Their daughter posting on Instagram today, "My beautiful parents have been freed." Their neighbor, Jonathan Deckel-Chen, whose son is a former hostage, knew them for over 30 years.
They were, sort of a couple of lovebirds. Finally, after more than 600 days, they can have peace.
Our thanks to Matt Bradley for that report. Well, in a statement on Thursday, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, which represents families of the hostages in Gaza, said that the burial of the couple, quote, represents the closing of a circle. And they also reiterated calls for the Israeli government to reach a ceasefire agreement that would see the return of the more than 50 hostages remaining in Gaza. We have developing news out of Ukraine this morning, where officials say Russia has launched a deadly aerial attack on Kyiv. NBC International correspondent Claudia Lubanga is following that and other world headlines for us. Hey, Claudia, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. Well, that's right. Authorities in Ukraine say that at least 3 people were killed and 55 others were injured after the capital, Kyiv, and other cities came under attack with a barrage of Russian drones and missiles overnight. Now, multiple fires were reported across the capital, including a 16-story apartment building. The mayor of Kyiv said 3 of the victims were rescuers who rushed to the scene to extinguish the fires. Other cities, including Odessa, were also hit. On Friday, Russia's defense ministry said the strikes were in response to what it called Ukrainian terrorist acts against Russia, referring to Ukraine's attack against Russian strategic bombers on Sunday. Let's go to North Korea now, where state media is reporting that a new warship has been launched following a previous failed attempt 2 weeks ago. In mid-May, 4 officials were arrested after the 5,000-ton destroyer tipped over during the first launch attempt in front of leader Kim Jong-un, who called the incident a criminal act. State-run news agency KCNA says the warship is being restored to balance now and is moored at a pier. And let's end this tour of the world in Guatemala, where almost 600 people were evacuated from the slopes of a volcano after an eruption. It's called Fuego Volcano, or a volcano of fire. And as the name suggests, is not only one of the most active in Guatemala, but in the whole of Central America. On Thursday, it started spewing hot gas and ash high in the sky, and residents as well as authorities agreed that it will be a good thing to stay away from it. Savannah?
Multiple volcanoes erupting right now. Wow, Claudia, thank you so much. Coming up, insurance companies directing patients to unreachable providers.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's just, there's basically no one here that can help.
The warning about so-called ghost networks and why efforts to shut them down aren't working. This is Morning News Now. We're back with a closer look at what's being called ghost networks. It's when patients call a healthcare provider listed in their insurance company's network, only to be met with non-working numbers or unavailable services. NBC News Now anchor Vicky Wynn investigates.
Guy and Michelle Mazzola say they're battling a system that's failing their son.
How many hours a week do you spend fighting for your son's care?
I mean, depending on the week, 10, 15 hours a week, appeal after appeal, phone call after phone call.
Little Guy, as they call him, has autism and needs multiple therapies.
We thought, It's got to be covered under insurance.
It was going to be pivotal for his life, like absolutely, like different level of life he's going to have if he can get this care right now.
You do so good.
But as Michelle showed us, trying to find that care near their Connecticut home meant spending hours on the phone in frustration, wrong numbers, incorrect information, or wait lists of 6 months or more.
I mean, this is crazy.
We tried too.
So this is supposed to be a speech language pathologist under pediatrics, so hopefully.
And this is the current number listed. Making call after call with Michelle to network providers listed by her insurer, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
To Verizon Wireless, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Out of 6 providers we called on the list, only one said they could make an appointment in a month. The other 5 either had non-working numbers or went like this.
Is that person offering speech language therapy for pediatric patients?
No, ma'am, we do not treat for pediatrics.
Okay, and has that been the case always, or is that a new change?
It's been since the practice has been established.
Follow-up calls made by NBC News found that out of 21 additional service providers listed, 20 either didn't take patients' guy's age or had no availability for months.
You want to watch something? No.
It's such a common problem, there's a term for it, ghost networks, when insurance companies show a robust list of available healthcare providers on paper, but not in practice.
Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield declined to be interviewed, but told us it is working with the Mazzola family to address Guy's needs and that its network meets access requirements outlined under state law. Because of the specialized services Guy requires, a number of the providers in the family's area are booked, and it can be challenging to get appointments immediately.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's just, there's basically no one here that can help.
Now you do.
Ghost networks exist nationwide. A recent study by the New York Attorney General's office of 13 health plans found 86% of the listed in-network mental health providers staff called were ghosts.
If you put off getting care, your diagnosis is being delayed, and that's dangerous for the patient.
The Mazzola's attorney, Steve Cohen, has filed 2 class action lawsuits over ghost networks, including one against Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, which moved to dismiss.
We want the insurance companies to act responsibly, to get their act together, to have accurate lists.
3, go!
Guy is now 2, and Michelle says he's showing some signs of progress, now receiving the care he needs, mostly paid for by the Mazzolas, with several out-of-network providers.
Okay.
Somebody's got to do something about it. So we're not going to stand for it, not for Guy.
Vicki Nguyen, NBC News.
Truly such an important report there, thanks to Vicki. Well, now let's get to a big medical breakthrough. The FDA has approved the first AI tool for breast cancer risk prediction. The new tool can predict a woman's risk of developing breast cancer over the next 5 years. It is designed to catch potential warning signs that might not show up in a traditional mammogram. Reporter David Horwitz from NBC Connecticut has the details.
AI is going to be huge in medicine.
Dr. Weiner, the director of the Yale Cancer Center, says the current ways to detect breast cancer cannot be ignored, but also can be improved.
Mammography isn't necessarily the next best thing since sliced bread. We need to do better than that.
Connie Lehman, the founder of the technology company Clarity and a professor of radiology at Harvard Medical School, is trying to do just that. Clarity Breast, which was recently approved by the FDA, uses AI to analyze a mammogram and can catch abnormalities missed by the human eye.
We're predicting not right now whether or not a woman has breast cancer, but what does her future look like? What is her future 5-year risk of developing a breast cancer?
She says right now it is very difficult to determine a woman's actual risk of developing breast cancer.
85% of patients that are diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history, and that's what we're tackling.
Dr. Mahavi Raghu with Connecticut Breast Imaging says it is a good thing more and more people are coming in for preventative care.
When we have tools like AI, it's going to really help the radiologist make more accurate diagnoses.
But she says the personal connection between a doctor and a patient is irreplaceable.
Many of my patients really like it when I go into the room and tell them everything is okay. And it's nice to hear that from another human being.
Our thanks to David Horwitz for that report. Dr. Weiner also says it's important not to be fearful of a breast cancer screening and instead think of it as a way of staying healthy. As for the rollout of this new technology, it is already in the works. Lehman says they are hopeful it will be available by the end of the year. Coming up, it's been a blockbuster year on Broadway, in part thanks to several big Hollywood stars. When we come back, we'll talk about the much-needed boost that helped bring audiences back to the Great White Way. Morning News Now will be right back. We are back with money headlines for you, starting with Google. The company has quietly issued an emergency update for Chrome users. CNBC's Silvana Hanau is with us. Hey, Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yes, so Google issuing an emergency update to Chrome this week, warning a vulnerability found by its threat team has been used in cyber attacks. The federal government mandating staffers update Chrome or stop using the browser following a separate attack warning. The flaw could allow a remote attacker to insert malware. Now, it's possible your Chrome browser updated on its own, but it is recommended you kickstart the update process to get the necessary protections. Meanwhile, Meta plans to use AI to handle several parts of its hiring process. So Business Insider reports the company wants to use AI tools not just to support recruiters, but also review how well its human interviewers are doing. AI assistants will evaluate interviewers, flagging non-inclusive questions. They will also help with tasks such as testing a candidate's coding skills. And Hello Kitty is more popular than Toyota among Japanese investors. Sanrio, which owns the iconic toy brand, saw more than $14 billion worth of shares changing hands on the Tokyo Stock Exchange in May. That's more than double the amount traded in April and topping the $12 billion in shares traded in Toyota. Now, analysts say that part of the reason is the perception a brand like Hello Kitty is resilient to headwinds, such as tariffs.
Yeah, I just did, God, I can't even remember now. It was a few months ago, her 50th birthday or anniversary or something. I mean, it is crazy, the enduring nature of that brand. And, you know, let me blow your mind, Silvana. She's not a cat.
What is she?
She's a little girl who just kind of looks like a cat, according to Sanrio, the people who created her, okay? I know, I got so much heat on the internet just for asking that question and being told that answer. But anyway,
my God.
Silvana. We'll see you in an hour. All right, we are only 2 days away from curtain up at Broadway's biggest night of the year. The Tony Awards are taking place on Sunday, and this year's ceremony comes as the Broadway box office closed out its most profitable year on record. It topped nearly $2 billion for the 2024-2025 season. In a lot of cases, visitors to the Great White Way shelled out hundreds of dollars per ticket to see a show. I mean, honestly, even thousands, right? CNBC reporter and producer Brandon Gomez is here to break down the record-setting numbers. Brandon, I'll preface this by saying I will do my best, Joe. You know,
Totally
I don't
fair.
have a lot of the firsthand knowledge of seeing some of these shows, but it is fascinating what has happened with Broadway this year, and the awards are so exciting. For me, for kind of a novice, what shows brought people back this year? Just give me like a headline, especially because this was a real turnaround since COVID.
It was, right? And during COVID, we saw the box office pull back, and so this year was the real return of Broadway. And I will say, too, I'm a musical theater major in undergrad outside my journalistic duties. Like, I am also the big Broadway buff. But this year, it was Hollywood. Hollywood was the big word, right? So you had all of these stars coming to Broadway. George Clooney in Good Night and Good Luck. You had Glengarry Glen Ross starring Kieran Culkin. And then you also had Othello starring Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, right? So people were shelling out big bucks to see these Hollywood stars. And a lot of it helped boost the box office, right? Those were the top 3 revenue-generating shows this season.
I mean, people were really spending, I mean, hundreds at least, right, for like the 3 that you just said?
Yeah, for those shows, I mean, tickets were around $500, $600, sometimes even more during the highest of the season, which was around the holidays. December 29th, that week was the highest grossing week for Broadway. But the average ticket price was actually around $129.
Okay.
Now, that's up from $124 back in 2018, 2019 season. If you account for inflation, you're still kind of getting a deal. It should cost around $155 based on the numbers. But if you're someone like me who's willing to go and stand and wait for a cheap ticket, you can see a show for $45, $50, $60. People are always amazed at the deals I can somehow find in the city.
I know, and there's like ways to game it with the auction or the
Totally. So if
lotto
you're visiting
and
the city, that's the way to do it.
Totally. I think the Hollywood piece of this, as somebody who doesn't go to to Broadway very much. It's just fascinating to think about the fact that, like, right in front of you, you can see George Clooney or Denzel Washington acting live. I mean, that really did have a huge impact, right?
An arm's length away, right? And
Right.
it really did. And so there was this great debate, too, amongst all the Broadway folks. Do we need these Hollywood stars to really help boost box office sales? But when you look at some of the nominations for this year, you'll see some of those names. George Clooney's nominated for Best Actor in a Play. But really, it did go to a lot of the musicals, the theater shows that, you know, the theater lover will go to.
Okay, let's talk about Tony Awards and what's nominated here. Best Musical, Best Play. I have seen one of the Best Musical ones here. Death Becomes Her. I absolutely adored.
It's hysterical.
I was laughing I think I was crying. I was laughing so hard. It was so good.
And the way that they do some of those stunts, the staircase scene that Meryl Streep is so well known for, right? And Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis, all the ways that those actors bring those characters to life is amazing. You also have in the category Buena Vista Social Club and Maybe Happy Ending, along with Death Becomes Her, are the most nominated shows for 10 Tonys, still trailing Hamilton's record of 16 Tonys in one season. But you also have Dead Outlaw, Operation Mincemeat in that category. And then in plays, John Proctor is the villain based on The Crucible. This is a very popular show. I will say in that category as well, Oh Mary, Cola Scola, who stars and created the show, is a favorite for that category as well. I saw it off Broadway. I haven't seen it since it transferred, but it's absolutely hysterical, the story of Mary Todd Lincoln Scott. So.
Let's talk now also about favorites here for actors.
Yeah, so in terms of the actors categories, again, it's you talk to Tony voters, and it's really split this year. I mean, it's between Audra McDonald in Gypsy or Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, who's currently starring in Sunset Boulevard, both in revivals. Those are the two sort of favorite darlings there. In terms of actor in a musical, also Tom Francis from Sunset Boulevard. But then it could be Darren Criss, right, of Glee fame. He's currently on Broadway right now in Maybe Happy Endings. I mean, the list goes on, and I can keep going into it, but that's a different day and a different show.
Different anchor. Yeah. Brandon, thank you so much. This is fascinating. That's very exciting that Tony Awards are this Sunday. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this Friday. I'm Savannah Sellers. Joe's on assignment right now on Morning News Now. Spectacular split. The rising tensions between President Trump and Elon Musk spill out into an extraordinary, drawn-out fight on social media. The president suggesting the government could cut ties with Musk's businesses, which have billions of dollars in contracts. Musk firing back, highlighting President Trump's past relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. So how bad could the fallout get? We'll bring you the latest. Facing a judge, the man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at people during a march in support of Israeli hostages in Colorado has been officially charged. Mohammed Sabri Solomon faces more than 100 felony counts in connection with the attack. We'll tell you where the case goes from here. Plus, the monthly jobs report just out this morning, with some people nervous about the labor market and the health of the economy. We'll break down these new numbers that investors will be closely watching a little later in the hour. And if the weather is too hot or too rainy to spend too long outside this weekend, we've got you covered. We will bring you the best new releases from the world of movies, music, and streaming, from the new Wes Anderson movie to a John Wick spinoff. That is all in our favorite Can't Miss list. Thanks again for joining us on a Friday. We're going to get started today with the very public breakup of President Trump and Elon Musk. This morning, the White House is throwing cold water on a report that suggested a truce could be on the horizon. And the once close-knit allies have been dragging each other through the mud on social media, with Musk taking credit for the president's 2024 election win. And then Trump threatened to cut off government contracts to Musk companies. The fallout started when Musk launched a campaign against the president's signature spending bill, saying it would, quote, massively increase the deficit and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt. NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs correspondent Kelly O'Donnell has the latest from Washington. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. The billionaire blow-up is upending one of the most visible relationships in the president's inner circle. This new divide sets up a test of who will have more influence on the Republican Party's future, the sitting president or one of the biggest donors. For months, Musk seemed to be everywhere, from the Oval Office to Mar-a-Lago. But now the question is he out for good? This morning, the cleanup after a messy and extraordinary day in American politics. The alliance built on wealth and power between President Trump and the man he put in charge of making massive cuts to the federal government imploded oh so publicly. Mr. Trump first suggesting the Tesla owner's rejection of the president's signature legislation, the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, is rooted in self-interest.
Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate and, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles.
The president also reflecting on Musk's recent departure.
You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup?"
Musk firing back on social media, replying, "Whatever," to the electric vehicle comments, and then kicking off a remarkable online tussle, writing, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election," adding, "Such ingratitude." The world's most powerful man and the richest man exchanging barbs directly. The president posting, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave, and he just went crazy." Musk writing, "Such an obvious lie. So sad." Mr. Trump going after the SpaceX CEO's bottom line. The easiest way to save money in our budget is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. In response, Musk threatening to decommission SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft that is used by NASA to ferry astronauts to the space station. Musk then writing, "Time to drop the really big bomb," saying the president, quote, "is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." President Trump has previously downplayed his relationship with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and denied any involvement with his criminal behavior. Musk also later agreeing with a post that said President Trump should be impeached. The president downplayed the drama. Quote, "I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago." Overnight, both sides appeared open to de-escalation. Musk taking back his Dragon spacecraft threat and agreeing with a post that urged the two men to get along. And the president, asked about the feud by Politico overnight, responding, "Oh, it's okay. It's going very well. Never done better." Today, there appears to be a shift toward cooler heads. Sources familiar with this relationship say the president's going to step back from this fight and focus on his key piece of legislation, working to get Republicans to pass it.
Kelly, thank you so much. Now I want to bring in NBC News senior national politics reporter Jonathan Allen for more analysis. John, hello again. So as we heard, Elon Musk thinks he won President Trump the 2024 election. I mean, just put in context, remind us, how true that may be in terms of just how much money he spent, the particular focus he put on very important states, but also how much damage he could do now to Mr. Trump's political agenda.
It's very difficult to say exactly on a vote per dollar basis how much Elon Musk helped Donald Trump win the last election, but certainly made an effort. $275 million, Savannah, $275 million from one man put into helping elect Donald Trump. And the problem for Republicans who are being told in Congress that Elon Musk wants them to vote against Trump's big, beautiful bill is that he could turn that kind of money on them. And he has threatened to oust Republicans who do vote for that bill. So as one congressman I spoke to late last night said, the lawmakers are between a rock and a hard place.
Where does this leave the so-called big, beautiful bill? Does the fact that Musk is so openly criticizing it and to the extent to which he's doing so hurt its chances of actually becoming law? Now, is it under more scrutiny? Do more Republicans feel they have cover to come out?
I think it makes it a little more difficult for President Trump and his aides to get that big, beautiful bill, as he calls it, passed. In fact, I talked to a White House official this morning who said that he left the White House yesterday focused on that big, beautiful bill, not on Elon Musk, because obviously this feud is not only a distraction from that, but could cause problems. All of that said, Savannah, having covered Washington for several decades now, any president's singular agenda bill, the big thing that they're trying to get done, almost always does get done in the end. So it's, I think, more a question of how much heartburn there is along the way.
John, let's talk through how this is starting to play out with the MAGA world and people who had become fans of Elon Musk's because they are fans of Donald Trump, and there was such, lockstep between the two of them. What is this feud doing? Are supporters taking sides? They're
absolutely taking sides. Twitter is or X is full of invective from one side against the other. Steve Bannon, the former White House advisor in Trump's first term and the host of the popular War Room podcast that a lot of MAGA folks listen to, he's been out there attacking Elon Musk, saying the president should look into his citizenship and other things about Musk. So, yeah, the fight has definitely expanded beyond them. And just one thing I wanted to add here, a little bit of a news nugget, Savannah. I spoke to a senior White House official just before we got on the air who said that Trump is, quote, not interested in a call with Musk right now.
Okay, so that's exactly what I wanted to ask you about. They're saying that's not going to happen. There were some reports this morning that maybe we would see some type of truce. What do you expect then? If the White House is just coming out and saying there's not going to be a call, do we think there's going to be more insults on social media today? Does this continue?
I mean, it looked to me at the end of yesterday like the person backing down was Elon Musk. And if that's the case, if he's going to unilaterally back down, I'm not sure that the president needs to talk to him. On the other hand, if this continues, they may have to have some sort of meeting of the minds at some point, or just head into the next set of elections with their different views. Elon Musk's money is a threat to Republicans on one side, and Donald Trump's influence with Republican voters a threat to the Republican lawmakers on the other side. So it's in their interest probably to wrap this up at some point.
John Allen, thank you very much. Well, now let's head to Ukraine, where Russia launched a series of deadly drone and missile attacks overnight. At least 4 people were killed in attacks on the capital city of Kyiv, its mayor said, adding that search and rescue operations are ongoing in several locations. This comes as Ukraine is bracing for more retaliatory strikes promised by Russian President Vladimir Putin following its damaging drone strike on a Russian airbase earlier this week. Look at this on your screen. This is new footage from the attack. It's offering insights into just how damaging that ambitious operation was. NBC News Chief International Correspondent Keir Simmons joins us with the latest. Hi, Keir. Good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. Moscow's state media this morning is openly calling this Russian wave of drones retaliation for Ukraine's drone strike against the Kremlin's long-range bombers. Russia's Ministry of Defense saying this is, quote, in response to the terrorist acts of the Kyiv regime, calling it a massive strike against Ukraine's armed forces. But pictures overnight, Savannah, show again residential locations hit by Russia.
This is President Putin's response to his humiliation by Ukraine. Explosions lighting up the skyline in the capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian anti-aircraft fire engaging a swarm of more than 400 drones. Here, an apartment building hit. Windows shattered. Civilians, despite living through 3 years of this, shocked overnight. Ukraine's campaign against Russia continuing this morning. This blast near an oil refinery. And here, a Russian regional governor as a court building is hit by a drone. All after that covert Ukrainian attack on Russian military bases and the very bombers that target Ukraine. President Trump saying yesterday Putin told him in an earlier phone call a response was coming.
He said we have no choice but to attack.
He said he asked Putin not to.
It's probably not going to be pretty. I don't like it. I said, don't do it. You shouldn't do it. You should stop it.
But then compared the Ukraine war to a school fight.
But sometimes you see 2 young children fighting like crazy. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart.
This morning, Ukrainian civilians taking cover in shelters, still defiant.
I believe in peace, but in the strong way. It's like 4 years coming, like for the war. It's just killing people.
President Trump said he would end all this. Yesterday, he again threatened to punish both sides.
Very, very, very tough. And it could be on both countries, to be honest. You know, it takes 2 to tango.
The Kremlin spokesman was just asked about President Trump comparing all this to a fight between children, Savannah. He called it, quote, Trump's point of view, and then said, and listen to this, the political means for resolving the crisis were exhausted. Savannah, rather than an end to the war, this is, it looks like, a new phase, and a phase that will likely test world leaders in new ways. Savannah?
All right, Keir, thank you very much. Well, the suspect in Colorado's deadly terror attack is now facing over 100 felony charges. Mohammed Solomon stood before a judge as prosecutors laid out a case that could put him behind bars for life. He's also expected to face separate federal charges as officials determine whether his family could be deported. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky joins us from Boulder, Colorado with the latest. Morgan, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. And as this community has tried to wrap its head around the tragedy that took place here now almost a week ago, when Mohammed Solomon set foot inside that courtroom, for many it was a glimpse, a first step at accountability and justice. And now as he's headed to a federal court later this afternoon, it is a chance for his actions to have potential consequences here.
The matter comes before the court.
Inside a jailhouse courtroom, terror suspect Mohammed Solomon facing a judge and a laundry list of charges for Sunday's shocking attack. The 45-year-old Egyptian national watching as prosecutors charged him with 118 criminal counts.
Charges reflect the evidence that we have regarding this horrific attack that took place and the seriousness of it.
They include 28 counts of attempted murder, 5 counts of assault on the at-risk or elderly, and 1 charge of animal cruelty, after authorities say he injured a dog during his targeted anti-Semitic attack.
If the defendant's convicted and those counts run or those sentences run consecutive, that would be 48 years in state prison for each of the 14 victims, which comes to 672 years.
While Solomon claims to have acted alone, Colorado's governor pressing for a thorough investigation.
Were there others who knew about it, who facilitated it, who were aware of it, who helped them?
Solomon's wife and 5 children remain in ICE custody. The Department of Homeland Security says the family came to the U.S. in August 2022 and overstayed their tourist visas. Solomon did file for asylum, listing his wife and 5 children as dependents. The family's attorney telling us they were flown to a detention center in Texas.
That they are now in detention despite having committed no crime.
But a Colorado judge has temporarily blocked their deportation.
Are you concerned that even with this judge's court order, the Trump administration could still deport this family?
It would be totally naive if we weren't concerned about that.
In response, DHS called the family attorney's claims absurd, adding it's clearly an attempt to delay justice. Meanwhile, as flowers line the scene of Sunday's nightmare attack, the Boulder community finds itself caught between heartbreak and disbelief.
They lit Jews on fire in 2025. I mean, it's hard to for anyone to wrap their head around that.
And we'll be there as Solomon is in federal court later this afternoon. Will he be charged with that hate crime? In the meantime, ahead of Boulder's annual Jewish festival slated for this Sunday in this very space, the FBI and DHS releasing a rare joint statement, Savannah, saying because of the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, terrorists may be more motivated to enact violence against Jewish or Israeli communities, adding that terrorist organizations may also try to exploit the narrative to inspire violence in the United States. Savannah.
Morgan, thank you so much. Well, the judge in the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs threatened to kick the music mogul out of court yesterday after he appeared to make facial expressions at the jurors. Yesterday also brought graphic testimony from an unnamed ex-girlfriend. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has the details.
Lavish trips, cash, and a lot of drugs. That's how the woman testifying with the pseudonym Jane says her relationship began with hip-hop tycoon Sean Diddy Combs. But Jane says after she fell head over heels for Combs, he started having other men join them. Escorts, according to Jane. What percentage of the time after that did you have sex with another man? Prosecutors asked. 90%, the single mother told the jury. Did you want to do that? She answered no. Jane said she wanted an old-fashioned relationship, but agreed to what Combs called debauchery or hotel nights to keep him happy. She told the court the nights took place in hotel suites with red lights, music, lotions, and an excessive use of baby oil everywhere. The sessions could last up to 30 hours, according to her testimony, and always with drugs, including ecstasy and ketamine. During their relationship, which started in 2021 and ended when the music mogul was arrested, Jane says he supported her, paying her rent and wiring her tens of thousands of dollars. Combs pleaded not guilty to 5 federal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering. In court, a dramatic moment played out after the jury was excused for lunch. The judge turning to the defense team and saying, "I was very clear there should be no facial expressions to the jury." The judge said Combs was nodding vigorously and looking at the jury during the cross-examination of a witness. The judge saying if it happens again, he would consider removing Combs from the courtroom altogether. Jane has only just started her testimony. She's expected to be on the stand for days. Prosecutors say that she was coerced with drugs, lies, and threats to take part in Combs' sex parties. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you so much. Well, now let's get a check on the severe storms. They're moving through the south and the central plains this morning. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is tracking all that for us ahead of your weekend. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. Yeah, we are looking at some stormy weather this morning. Some of it is severe, and we're going to watch the threat for severe weather continuing throughout this Friday and really into Saturday and Sunday. So this is a multi-day event. This is what it looks like for today, central and southern plains, and then from Texas to the Tennessee Valley. Parts of the Ohio Valley could see severe weather. Southern New England also on the table to see severe storms. That could include a flood risk as well, and that includes the central and southern plains. We're really saturated there with storms that came through the past couple of days, so any additional rain will cause a chance for some flooding. The southeast will be wet too in some cases. It will be warm in portions of the northwest. This is what radar looks like. You can see a system moving throughout portions of the central and southern plains, bringing some pretty stormy weather throughout those areas, and that will continue throughout this Friday into portions of the afternoon and evening hours. And then Saturday, we're going to see this system slide to the east. So then we're talking about Texas into the Tennessee Valley once again, and also the Carolinas. This is what Saturday looks like. Another wet day, another wet weekend in parts of New England, the Northeast, because we do have that shower threat, and lots of storms throughout the Tennessee Valley into parts of the Gulf, not the whole Gulf Coast states, but some of it into the Southeast, and sunny and hot throughout the Southwest, Intermountain West, and also parts of the Northwest. We're going to see temperatures into the 80s and 90s in the Pacific Northwest. That continues on Sunday. Look at temperatures in the 80s and 90s once again, record highs there. Severe storms, again, a risk into the central and southern plains, and then downpours really from the Midwest into parts of the Mid-Atlantic, the Southeast, the Carolinas. So really a wet weekend for many, both Saturday and Sunday. As far as the severe weather goes, this is today. 33 million people at risk. We're looking at the chance for really large hail, 2 inches or greater, winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. That's going to cause some damage, and also the chance of a few tornadoes, especially where you see those yellow and orange areas. Savannah, we're looking at places like Lamar and also Lubbock. Lubbock got hit hard last night. We're going to see that once again today, unfortunately.
God, really important safety information there, too. Michelle, thank you so much. There's much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, Saturday is the final jewel in the Triple Crown in horse racing. We will take you behind the scenes in the racing industry and show you how new technology is aiming to keep horses across the country safer on the track. Up first, though, Israel is ramping up its attacks on Hezbollah in Beirut. When we come back, the latest on the conflict in the Middle East. We are back with the latest in the Middle East, where Israel is renewing its attacks on Hezbollah in Beirut. Large smoke clouds could be seen rising from the Lebanese capital overnight after the Israeli military carried out strikes on its southern suburbs. Israel says it's targeting what it calls underground drone factories. This attack marks Israel's biggest escalation in Lebanon since the U.S. brokered a ceasefire with Hezbollah. That was back in November. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us from Tel Aviv with more on this. Matt, good morning. First, just give us the latest here. What can you tell us about these military operations in Beirut?
Yeah, good morning. So the Israelis said that they actually struck not just the southern suburb of Beirut, Dahia, as you mentioned, which is a Hezbollah stronghold, but also the southern part of Lebanon, which they've been doing with some regularity ever since that treaty was signed back in November. So we heard from the Israelis. They said that they were striking drone factories in both of these locations, and they said that that Hezbollah had been firing thousands of drones at the Israelis during their war, which, as you mentioned, ended in November. The Israelis still have positions in southern Lebanon, in Lebanese territory, and we had strong words of protest from the Lebanese president complaining that this is a violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. But the fact is, Lebanon's government is still trying to disarm Hezbollah, and it doesn't look as though there's going to be much in the way of retaliation. The fact is, both the Lebanese state and Hezbollah have been badly weakened by nearly 2 years of war.
Matt, we also have could be a significant development here in Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu, he says that Israel, the word he used is activated militias in Gaza opposed to Hamas. This announcement did also just come just hours after a political opponent criticized him for arming unofficial groups. But explain who these groups are and what Israel's doing here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Avigdor Lieberman, who had complained that Benjamin Netanyahu has been financing these groups. Benjamin Netanyahu came out and said, look, we have been. We've been doing this for a while, and the fact is that this benefits us. This helps fight against Hamas. These are groups that we've enlisted in the Gaza Strip, and it's all part of our war against Hamas. And actually, Benjamin Netanyahu criticized his political opponent, Avigdor Lieberman, for bringing this to light, for revealing this information. Now, you asked, who are these groups? Well, they range in power from large clans to essentially gangs of criminals who the Israelis have enlisted in order to help them in their fight. And in many cases, it sounds like, armed them.
Matt, this morning, the controversial Israeli-backed organization tasked with distributing aid in Gaza said all its centers would be closed again. This is after there were these deadly shootings by Israel's army near these distribution sites. Do we know anything? Is it clear when aid will be available to Gazans again?
Well, it's been going in fits and starts, and as you mentioned, we've seen two very violent, bloody episodes at these aid distribution sites, which have been set up by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is a U.S.-backed group with cooperation from the Israelis. So this group has really had a pretty rough start when it comes to distributing aid in the Gaza Strip. The United Nations and other aid groups have refused to work with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. There have been high-profile resignations, including of its head, just days before it started its effort in the Gaza Strip. And now we actually heard from BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, just a couple of days ago. They said that they were withdrawing their support and they had actually helped set up this organization late last year. So this has been a really tumultuous start. Whether or not we're going to actually see them returning back to giving aid in the Gaza Strip, well, I mean, despite the controversy, despite the violence, this is so far the best option that Gazans have for getting aid after a nearly 11-week-long blockade that was only broken by the Israelis just a couple of weeks ago. There still are conditions of starvation in the Gaza Strip, despite the fact that there is some aid getting in. So this is really the last best hope for the people of Gaza. So we can hope that they are going to resume distributing aid.
Okay, Matt, thank you so much. Well, it was 2 years ago this month that an underwater submersible imploded in the Atlantic Ocean as it took paying passengers down to see the wreckage of the Titanic. Now, a new Netflix documentary is detailing the years of warning signs about the submersible named Titan and the CEO who ignored those warnings. NBC News senior correspondent Tom Costello covered the disaster 2 years ago and spoke to a key player in the investigation.
Hey there, the Netflix documentary is a powerful look into the many warnings that were ignored about Titan's design. Many of those warnings from David Lockridge. He's the Scottish submersible pilot who lost his job after telling the CEO it was simply too dangerous. It was June 20th, 2023.
The whole world is watching the urgent search for a missing submersible.
900 miles off Boston, a round-the-clock search for the Titan submersible. Search teams scoured the North Atlantic for any sign that the 5 on board might be alive. But 3 days later, underwater drones spotted the mini-sub's wreckage just 1,600 feet from the wreckage of the Titanic it was searching for. Now, a new Netflix documentary, Titan, the OceanGate disaster, provides new details looking at how the company behind the mini-sub repeatedly ignored safety warnings.
I didn't know what to say, but I was blown away that at this point they were willing to play Russian roulette.
David Lockridge was OceanGate's director of marine operations and the chief submersible pilot. But he was fired in 2018 after repeatedly warning CEO Stockton Rush, who died in the implosion, that the cheaper carbon fiber design wasn't safe for deep dives. In testing above water and below, the hull could be heard popping and cracking and coming apart.
We didn't get to the last pressure we did last time.
Should that have been a warning sign to stop right there?
Everybody was aware that the hull was starting to break down. It should never have sounded like that at all. That was a warning sign.
Lockridge and others were recorded warning CEO Rush, but Rush said he was prepared to take the risk.
We're doing weird here, and I am definitely out of the mold. There's no question. I'm doing things that are completely non-standard, and I'm sure the industry thinks I'm an idiot. That's fine.
Did you think somebody could die in this submersible?
Absolutely. Even after I was terminated from the company, I felt in myself there's no way I could live with myself if something happened.
Lockridge filed a federal whistleblower complaint and lawsuit warning the sub design wasn't safe. But that didn't stop OceanGate from charging passengers $250,000 to visit the Titanic. The Netflix doc features the suspected moment caught on underwater microphones. The Titan imploded. On board, British billionaire Hamish Harding, French pilot Paul-Henri Nogelet, Pakistani billionaire Shahzada Dawood, and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman, and Stockton Rush. Was it hubris? Did he simply believe he was infallible, that anybody who gave him any counter evidence or information was not to be believed?
Stockton was a very headstrong individual that thought that what he was doing was the right way.
And revolutionary.
Oh, absolutely, but it was not. It could have been stopped. It could have been stopped.
Lockridge says as a submersible pilot, he had wanted to go down to see the Titanic. Not anymore. OceanGate tells NBC News it has permanently wound down operations and is cooperating with the investigation. And by the way, that Netflix documentary debuts on June 11th.
All right, Tom Costello, thank you very much. Well, coming up, a new health alert this morning regarding those popular weight loss drugs. When we come back, we'll look at warnings that taking certain medications could impact the effectiveness of birth control pills. You're watching Morning News Now. We are back with a health warning from the UK concerning popular weight loss drugs. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency there, it's called MHRA, announced that taking GLP-1 medicines could lower the effectiveness of birth control pills. It comes after the agency received at least 40 reports of women who say they got pregnant once they started taking weight loss medications despite using birth control. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar joins me for more on this. Dr. Azar, great to see you. Good morning. Happy Friday. So this is sort of like the UK's version of the FDA, right? And it's warning women who are pregnant or nursing or trying to get pregnant that they should not be on these weight loss medications. Tell us why and how concerned women should be about this warning.
Well, I think it's significant just in the face of the fact that a regulatory agency has actually made this proclamation in another country. Of course, the FDA has not done this in our country, but I will note that both Novo Nordisk, who makes Ozempic, Wegovy, and Lilly, who are the makers of Mounjaro and Zepbound, very clearly state in their package insert that women who are taking oral contraceptives need to be cautious about being on these medications, as well as it can lower the efficacy of those birth control pills simply by limiting absorption of them. And that women who are trying to conceive should not be taking those medications and should actually have about a 2-month washout before trying to conceive, because animal studies have shown that there could be some issues such as miscarriage as well as birth defects.
Why do we think it is that birth control, that oral contraception is less effective when you're on these?
So I think the role of these medications in terms of increasing fertility is really twofold, Savannah. One simply has to do with weight loss. We know that overweight and obesity, especially in women who have PCOS, can impact fertility. So just by virtue of losing weight, they are going to become more fertile. But the issue really has to do with the way these medications work to result in weight loss. They do so by decreasing the, what we call delaying gastric emptying, which means that it's slowing down how quickly food is moving out of your stomach. It's essentially affecting absorption. And so if your birth control pill is not being absorbed adequately, you're not getting the full benefit, and you can get pregnant. We know that birth control is not 100%. This is one way that can be impacted.
That makes a lot of sense. Dr. Azar, it seems like, I mean, seriously, not exaggerating, every week, every other week, we have a headline about something new when it comes to one of these drugs. Super positive things, new ways that they could help improve people's lives, and then something like this. Just as a doctor, what do you think about like the sheer number of people who are now using these and how much it seems is still unknown, how much we're still every day finding something out about them?
You know, I was thinking about this question yesterday, Savannah, as we were talking about this topic. And, we talked a lot. There's a correlate, you may recall, when we were talking about the COVID vaccines and how we said, well, once the vaccines are out in the public, once Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound are being used by millions of people, there is a likelihood that we're going to see some potential adverse effects or unintended consequences emerge just because of the sheer number of people who are taking these medications. There was just a report yesterday about the potential for eye issues in people with diabetes related to these medications. And so part of the FDA's responsibility, even after a medication or a vaccine is approved, is to continue monitoring for all of these potential effects, positive and negative. So everyone who's on these medications, you got to keep your eyes open and your ears tuned to news to be aware if any of these potential impacts could affect you.
Dr. Azar, important information. Thank you so much. Well, for many of us here in the Northeast, the weekends have been filled with what seems like endless rainy days to start the summer. Also going to be the case this weekend. Some areas haven't seen a dry Saturday or Sunday in months, leading many to wonder when the summer sun is finally going to get here. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock is on Coney Island with more on how people have been coping with this rainy weather. Sam, it's crazy. It's like if it's a weekday, it's hot and summer-like yesterday, and then the weekend comes when you could enjoy it, and the rain comes. It's driving me nuts.
As one meteorologist explained it, the weather doesn't know if it's the weekend or not. Savannah, look, right now we're on Coney Island. The sun is shining, not a single cloud in the sky. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know. Maybe the 9,000th straight weekend where we've seen rain coming down. Basically from New York and New Jersey all the way to Maine. It's been weekend washout, Savannah. That meteorologist tried to crunch the numbers to find out how long this soggy streak has really been going on. In a maddening twist of melodies, April showers bring May flowers has quickly turned into a chorus of rain, rain, go away.
If you're ever unsure what day of the week it is, just look outside. If it's raining, it's the weekend.
With much of the Northeast longing just to see a sunny Saturday. But instead, finding only their umbrella, Ella.
Another round of rain possible on Saturday.
Boston is expecting its 13th consecutive weekend of rain, and experts say the climate has nothing to do with the quirky streak.
Unfortunately, the weather doesn't know what day of the week it's interrupting, so it's just bad luck that it happens to be the weekend.
Allison Finch forecasts weather for New York and recently discovered a meteorological oddity, a 6-month streak of wet weekends in Albany, with cities from Syracuse to the Big Apple feeling the pain of too much rain.
If you know someone who lives in New York, check on them. We're not well. It's been raining for like 80 days.
It almost feels like we're living in England because it's just of how cloudy and just rainy it is in the middle of May and all of May.
Even graduates commiserating over their rainy commencements. But music fans not letting a little rain get in the way of enjoying one of summer's hottest concerts, taking a note from Beyonce and keeping a rain jacket handy.
Sometimes I like to pretend that the meteorologists don't know what they're doing and that it's going to be sunny anyway. Yeah.
As the husband of a meteorologist, I take a modest offense. The never-ending precipitation also putting a damper on business. Tina Quattrucci owns a jewelry and souvenir business in Saco, Maine, where it's rained a mere 10 weekends in a row.
We're trying to mitigate the loss, being out when I can be out, really watching the weather.
As for brighter days ahead, that will depend on the weather gods and maybe some good luck.
I was in my parka last week, and now I'm sweating on a park bench in Central Park.
Call that weather whiplash, Savannah. So the last 3 months or so in the Northeast, you've really seen above average rainfall, but nothing record-breaking. It's been more steady rain than any sort of downpours. As for enjoying a classic Nathan's hot dog here on Coney Island in the rain, let me tell you something, my friend. No one wants a soggy hot dog. Back to you,
Are
Savannah.
you going to do one today since it's sunny, Sam?
I have zero plans, okay? I'm not even going to enter the hot dog eating contest. Joey Chestnut, I'll leave it to him. I think we're good over here. Unless you want to join me.
Come on, Sam. Yeah, I love a hot dog. Thanks, Sam. See you in the bed.
Yeah, why not? What could go wrong?
The new monthly jobs report is out. Up next, we'll break down the newest data and take a closer look at the state of the labor market. Stay with us. We're back with some breaking economic data. The U.S. economy added 139,000 jobs in May. That was slightly higher than expected. And the unemployment rate held steady at 4.2%. We've got Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver back with us this morning. Caleb, what are these numbers telling us about the current state of our economy? And was this what we were expecting?
Yeah, this is kind of right in the middle of where we're expecting a little bit higher. Layoffs are low, but expansion plans, lots of hiring is kind of on hold here. But still, 139,000 jobs, a little bit under the 12-month average, but still relatively strong when you think about all the uncertainty. Companies were still hiring workers, but just in some particular sectors aggressively. positively, like leisure and hospitality. Usually you see a run-up going into the summer there. We saw that. Healthcare has been the strongest sector for job gains. 62,000 jobs added there. Social assistance, 16,000 jobs. So still hiring going on, not that aggressive. Wages still rising a little bit. We have not seen the impact yet of this tariff scare on companies.
And another thing I'm wondering, the impact and when or if we'll see it is, I mean, we said it even just earlier this morning before we had these numbers on this show, was the federal layoffs, the cuts that we saw given DOGE. What do you think? We've been kind of saying, will we see that come out in some of these jobs reports? What do these numbers tell you?
Starting to 22,000 jobs lost in the government sector last month. That's a total of about 59,000. That does not include any of those federal workers that are on furlough or delayed layoffs. So we could see more going forward, but 22,000 down for that sector alone here. And we didn't see a lot of movement in transportation and warehousing. And that's where I was kind of looking to see if companies were staffing up, adding workers for more reshoring in America.
Yeah.
That hasn't really begun in earnest yet. We're seeing the sectors that were strong remain strong, but still the unemployment rate remaining at 4.2%, close to full employment here.
We'll hear from the Fed in...
We'll hear from the Fed in 12 days. 5 hours and 15 minutes, but don't expect the Federal Reserve to change interest rates. The president will pound the table saying it's time. The Federal Reserve looks at this and says, hiring's still strong. Inflation is chilling a little bit. No reason to lower interest rates right now.
Caleb Silver, we appreciate you covering this. We didn't even have the two parts of the dream team today.
Where is
all you, baby, on breaking news for us. Thank you so much. Well, let's stay on your wallet with other money headlines. There are new job cuts happening at Amazon. Savannah Hanau has that and other money news. Hey, Savannah, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Yes, so Amazon cuts more jobs, and this time in its books business, including at the Goodreads review site and Kindle units. Amazon says fewer than 100 people were affected, and the move is meant to streamline operations. And Amazon has been making piecemeal job cuts, most recently from its devices and services unit, as well as its podcast division and stores. Walmart and Wayne, that's the drone delivery company owned by Alphabet, are expanding service to more than 100 stores in 5 new cities: Atlanta, Charlotte, Houston, Orlando, and Tampa. Now, Walmart is also adding Wing drone delivery to its existing market in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There are a few restrictions. Customers must live within 6 miles of a Walmart store under FAA rules. An order needs to be under a certain weight to qualify, but Walmart says that covers everything from groceries to health and wellness items and household goods. And, well, today is National Donut Day, and there are freebies and deals to be had left and right. You can get a free classic donut at Dunkin' with the purchase of any beverage. Krispy Kreme is giving away 1 free donut with no purchase necessary. And you can also get a dozen original glazed for just $2 when you buy another dozen at regular price. Now, the Salvation Army created National Donut Day in 1938 to honor the women who traveled to France to serve donuts and other food to soldiers during World War I, Savannah.
Pretty amazing. Silvana, thank you so much.
You got it.
Well, tomorrow, millions will be watching as one of the biggest horse races of the year. The 157th Belmont Stakes gets underway in New York. It is the final jewel of the coveted Triple Crown. And across the racing world, there's a new push to improve the safety of horses following a string of deaths in 2023. Well, now one pioneering research program is using wearable technology to try to spot potentially devastating problems before they even happen. Our Joe Fryer has the story.
After this colorful shot of the break from the barrier,
one of the oldest sports in the world is taking a giant stride into the future by putting wearable technology on horses. The aim, stopping injuries on the racetrack before they happen.
We're trying to find the needle in the haystack. You know, the horse that seemingly is jogging sound, doing great, but is potentially sitting on a catastrophic injury.
Dr. Sarah Langsam is spearheading the project for the American Association of Equine Practitioners. Her team is testing biometric sensors from 6 different manufacturers, which are placed inside the horse's saddle cloths. The makers later use AI to detect any changes in the data they gather.
They're measuring the fingerprint for every horse. Every horse has a fingerprint for how they go. So different standard deviations away from that horse's normal will indicate that there's a change.
Something she hopes could extend racehorses' careers, keeping them running sound longer. Industry groups have provided nearly $1 million to support the project, while racehorse owners and trainers have volunteered more than 700 two-year-old thoroughbreds to take part in the year-long trial. Each one has been wearing the sensors during their weekly high-speed workouts.
There's an expression on the racetrack that, oh, the horse just took a bad step. And I think what we're finding out is that that is not the case. Usually those situations are building over time.
At the end of the year, that data will be presented to the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority and could help inform future guidelines.
And they'll start to download all the data that we got from that race.
At the historic Churchill Downs, StrideSafe, one of the sensors picked for the study, has already been used for all races since 2023, including this year's Kentucky Derby.
When there was a cluster of fatalities, we decided that we could bring our technology to bear to try and help.
StrideSafe CEO believes it's only a matter of time before it's embraced by the wider racing community.
Owners, trainers, and veterinarians are now all aware of this information, but there's a lot of variability in the degree to which they accept it.
Racing manager David Fisk says he's open to it.
I'm certain there's pushback. I mean, I think there are trainers who may be training for 20, 30, 40 years, and they do not want to give up their opinion to, some data. I'm the kind of guy that wants to know as much about the horses as possible.
When horses are traveling at 40 miles an hour across the racetrack, the human brain is just not able to comprehend what is actually happening.
Owners, trainers, and veterinarians agree on one thing: keeping racehorses safe is the key to this sport's future and its credibility.
Everyone understands that the health and safety of the racehorse, the jockey, everyone around that horse is important enough that we need to deal with it and open that Pandora's box and get all this data.
Our thanks to Joe for that report. Super interesting. And a spokeswoman for the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority told us introducing biometric sensors would be a big step in preventing injuries and that the association looks forward to the results of this project. Coming up, it is Friday. If you're looking for something to watch this weekend, we have got you covered like we always do. Our weekly can't miss list is next. Love this music. Welcome back. It's Friday. That means it's time for your weekly can't miss list, films, shows, songs you got to see and hear this weekend. Joining us here on set, host and producer of Entertain This, Ralphie Aversa. Ralphie, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
I know, right? Whew, we feel like we sprinted to the end of a long week.
We sure did.
Let's start, literally and figuratively. Let's start. Wes Anderson, new film.
Oh my goodness. All right. So if you love Wes Anderson, you love the, how just eccentric his films are, and you love the imagery of the films, the wide shots, and just that certainly see Michael Cera there, Benicio del Toro. Phoenician Scheme, this is all you. This, of course, premiered at Cannes in France, and receiving great reviews. We've already ranked it in the top 10 Wes Anderson films of all time. Ooh. What a cast with this, too. As I mentioned, Benicio del Toro. Mia Threepleton, who is Kate Winslet's daughter. She's in this as well.
Whoa, didn't know that.
Along with a ton of other, Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston and Scarlett Johansson. It just goes on and on and on. Benicio del Toro in this, he plays an arms dealer who leaves his fortune to his daughter, who's a nun. So again, like Wes Anderson, like typical, but receiving great reviews in theaters this weekend.
Wow, okay, you just got me excited for that. Okay, now we've got, people are going to be big fans of this one, right? John Wick spinoff, and if you're anywhere in this universe, it's called Ballerina. I love Ana de Armas.
Yes, Ana de Armas is incredible in this. She's receiving rave reviews for this. One of the interesting things about this film is that they were done filming, or at least so they thought, and then they went back and shot more action scenes to kind of tie this more to the John Wick universe. But that said, it is like a John Wick adjacent film. Now, Keanu Reeves is in it as well, but Anna really, she's kind of standing off on her own in this and really taking the lead here with Ballerina, which is also receiving great reviews and also in theaters only this weekend.
In theaters. Okay, there you go. Okay, another one in theaters, I think, right? Summer, we love a vacation comedy. This one kind of goes horror, though?
Yes. Oh, this one is very interesting. I Don't Understand You. This is Nick Kroll and Andrew Reynolds. And, basically the genre of, snobby American tourists. If you're into that and horrible tourists, you're going to like this. And this kind of starts off as like a light comedy, but it turns dark as this baby moon that this couple is on before they adopt a child. You know, what could go wrong in Italy? Well, apparently everything. And so that kind of plays out.
Does it go horror?
Oh, yeah, murders, the whole,
okay,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Okay, now let's talk through streaming options. We've got 2 minutes here, 3 things to get through. Mr. Loverman, let's start there.
Okay, let's start, of course, with right? Mr. Loverman. Yes, Barrington Barry Walker, of course. Lenny James, you know him from Walking Dead, of course. So he's about to leave his wife for his best friend and lover. So how is that going to go? Well, we'll find out in Mr. Loverman, which is based on the novel.
And already award-winning and getting buzz, I understand, right? Okay, Resident Alien.
Season 4, New Home, USA, of course, streaming delayed on Peacock as well. And maybe this time our resident alien, fictional town, by the way, in Colorado. So I wouldn't ask you if you've ever been to Patience, Colorado, Savannah. I know you're a buff, but you haven't been because it doesn't exist. Anyways, we'll see if our resident alien finds an alien ally in Season 4.
Your name always reminds me of Buffs.
Ralphie.
I'm sure
the
you
buffalo,
get that a lot.
the mascot. I actually don't get. I get A Christmas Story.
Yeah,
all the time.
that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any Colorado people, I'm sure will bring it up with you. Okay, we have new music. Also, it's always fun when you've got a weekend to listen to this. Okay, exciting because it's Cynthia Erivo. She's got a new album out. It's called I Forgive You. People obviously have already fallen in love with her from her voice, whether you've seen her, lucky enough to see her on Broadway, or obviously Wicked. She's been having a moment, but tell us about this album.
Well, this is marketing synergy 101. We got the new Wicked trailer, of course, this week for Good, and so we got to see Cynthia in that, and now we get the new album. Only her second, by the way, which is interesting. I mean, she's done so much in her career. I shouldn't say only second, but you would think someone as accomplished as her, maybe she'd have more full-length albums.
I agree.
This album, you know, she sings about love and loss, and it's very emotional. You can hear the emotion in her voice as you listen to this album. But of course, Cynthia releases this on Friday, and then what is she doing Sunday? Well, she'll host the Tony Awards right here at Radio City Music Hall.
Girl's got a lot going on.
Yes, she does.
Seriously, her nails blow my mind. Also, like they're just like, it's so cool that they always look so different, and I'm like, how do you do that? It's amazing.
And she's effortless. Like when you see her on the red carpet, she just glides.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Love her. Ralphie Aversa, thank you so much. Great to have you with us. Happy Friday. Happy watching, everybody. That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. Stay with us, though. The news continues right now.